Long, long ago, before smartphones, social media, or even spoons, humans were just trying to figure out how not to get eaten by wild animals. Our stickman ancestors wandered the earth in search of food, shelter, and maybe a nice rock to sit on. They didn't have Wi-Fi, but they did have an endless supply of curiosity and the occasional bad hair day caused by thunderstorms. Then came the glorious discovery of fire. One lucky stickman figured out that rubbing sticks together could make something warm, bright, and perfect for roasting meat. It was like inventing Netflix for the caveman era. Suddenly, everyone wanted to gather around and stare at it for hours. Of course, some stickmen got a little too close and learned an important lesson. Fire is hot. With fire sorted, our ancestors started cooking food, scaring off predators, and telling epic stories about how they almost got eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. This was also the birth of the first barbecue party, though nobody brought marshmallows yet. Fire made life warmer, tastier, and a whole lot less boring. After that, stickmen realized they could stop wandering endlessly and settle in one place. Farming was born. Instead of chasing animals all day, they grew plants, raised livestock, and invented the first "I'm too busy watering my crops" excuse. Villages popped up, and suddenly everyone had neighbors, whether they liked it or not. Soon enough, someone got tired of carrying heavy things and invented the wheel. This round, genius idea changed everything, transporting food, moving goods, and eventually leading to stickman racing competitions. The wheel was basically the ancient version of a sports car, minus the seatbelts and road signs.
With villages and wheels, trade began. Stickmen started swapping food, tools, and the occasional useless trinket. Communication became key, so early languages emerged, half grunts, half dramatic gestures. The first stickman salesman was born, convincing others that his mud pot was premium quality. Then came the age of building. Stickmen looked at piles of rocks and thought, what if we stack these really high? This led to amazing monuments like pyramids, temples, and city walls. Of course, there were also a few collapsed towers, ancient construction accidents that nobody likes to talk about. As civilizations grew, stickmen started forming governments. Kings, queens, chiefs, they all wanted to be the boss. Laws were made to keep people from stealing goats or knocking over someone's carefully stacked rocks. Taxes were invented too, which instantly became everyone's least favorite idea in history. Writing soon followed. Instead of relying on memory, stickmen began scratching symbols onto clay, stone, or papyrus. This allowed them to record important events, shopping lists, and probably a few embarrassing doodles. Written language was like the original hard drive, except it could break if you dropped it.
What?
Exploration kicked in. Brave stickmen set out to see what was beyond the horizon. Some found new lands, others got lost, and a few discovered coconuts, which they immediately turned into snacks. These early adventurers expanded trade, shared ideas, and occasionally brought back strange animals that confused everyone. Then came the rise of mighty empires. Rome, China, Mesopotamia. Stickmen built vast cities, complex roads, and powerful armies. They also invented stadium sports, fancy togas, and public baths where gossip traveled faster than arrows. Empires were the ancient version of going viral. But empires don't last forever. Wars, invasions, and the occasional plague sent civilizations tumbling. Stickman rebuilt again and again, each time learning new tricks. And through all the chaos, art, music, and culture flourished. Proof that even when times were tough, creativity never went extinct. The Middle Ages rolled in, with castles, knights, and epic quests. Stickmen in armor clanked their way across battlefields, while others stayed home to farm, bake bread, or accidentally burn it. This was also the golden age of ye olde gossip, where news traveled by word of mouth and sometimes by loud trumpet. The Renaissance arrived like a burst of sunlight. Suddenly, everyone wanted to paint, invent, and explore. Stickmen dreamed bigger than ever before, sketching flying machines, composing music, and studying the stars. It was the ultimate creativity boom, fueled by curiosity and a lot of coffee, or whatever they drank back then. The age of discovery pushed stickmen across oceans. Ships set sail to find new lands, new trade routes, and exotic spices. Along the way, they also found storms, seasickness, and the occasional angry parrot. Still, these voyages changed the world map forever, and occasionally sank a few boats.
Help me!
The Industrial Revolution roared in with steam engines, factories, and machines. Stickmen traded hand tools for massive gears and noisy engines. Cities grew fast, sometimes faster than the plumbing could keep up. Life became faster, busier, and a little smokier. But innovation was unstoppable. Then came the age of science and medicine. Stickmen started figuring out germs, electricity, and how to make things explode safely. Well, mostly. They built telegraphs, light bulbs, and eventually the first stickman telephone, perfect for calling your neighbor to complain about their noisy donkey. The 20th century brought cars, airplanes, and movies. Stickmen zipped across continents in hours, watched moving pictures on screens, and invented jazz. Technology was booming, wars were raging, and humanity was moving faster than ever. It was thrilling, terrifying, and full of big dreams. Finally, the modern era exploded with computers, the internet, and smartphones. Now stickmen can talk to each other instantly, play games, and share cat videos without ever leaving their couch. Technology connects the world, but also makes everyone miss the days when your biggest problem was a flat wheel. And here we are, in the age of AI, space exploration, and self-driving everything. Our stickman story isn't over yet. It's just getting started. Who knows what's next? Time travel, teleportation, or maybe a pizza that never gets cold. Whatever the future holds, humanity will face it with curiosity, creativity, and maybe just a little bit of stickman silliness.